Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. So welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to say really quick, thank you for the prayers. I think there was some confusion yesterday. You know, my husband's in surgery right now today, and he'll be in surgery all day. Thank you for those prayers. I know some people, I said my baby yesterday, and so a lot of people were telling me, you know, prayers for my kiddo, my son, and stuff like that. So not my kiddo, my man. And that's that. So we will see how things go. I'll keep you guys updated on how everything goes with him, but he'll be in surgery all day today. Okay, so I want to talk about this topic because first of all, I've had several comments and emails of people specifically asking me how to prep in an apartment, how to where to put preps. They don't have any more space, help with finding space in their apartments or their homes. I've had people asking me where to hide preps. They wanted to maybe hide stuff. So what I'm going to do is, and I get it, this video is not going to be for everybody, and I'm probably not going to get the views that I normally get, but I am going to give this to you because this is what you guys are asking me for. So basically, I'm going to walk you through how my brain works, okay? And I'm going to walk you through 1,000 places, not literally 1,000, but a ton of places where you can put preps that maybe you haven't thought about, things you can do, things you can adjust to be able to put preps into your home. This is going to work for people that are in apartments as well. We are currently in an apartment. I have that thing filled to the hill, okay? And I still have space if I absolutely needed it to do it in an emergency. It's a little full for my liking, but there's still space. When I was literally prepping this list, you guys, we're in a hotel right now, and I was thinking, if we live literally in this room, where would I put preps? Where would I station preps, put preps? If I had to hide preps, where would I put them? And so I'm going to give you exactly what you asked for. I'm going to go through a ton of places that you can put preps in your home and spaces that maybe you didn't think about to get your mind thinking. And then also I'm going to run through a bunch of places that you could hide preps if you were trying to actually hide stuff, okay? Now, like, and hide, I mean from the government, I mean from marauders, I mean for whatever, okay? And we'll go with that, okay? So bear with me, but these are going to be good, you guys. So first thing I have is pots and pans. So a lot of people keep pots and pans and in some sort of cupboard, right? First thing you're going to do is where are your pots and pans, and can you put your pots and pans anywhere else? Meaning, can you hang your pots on the wall? Literally on a flat wall? Do you have a space in your kitchen or your dining room where you can hang your pots on the wall? Is there anywhere you can hang a pot holder or above some sort of rack to hang your pots? And then that will free up the space where you have all your pots and pans, that whole cupboard where you keep those, because they're so big and clunky, right? But if you can give them a new home and think vertically in everything that you're doing, then that will free up that cabinet for preps, okay? Second thing too is a lot of people, they might have a pantry or somewhere that's dedicated to food, but they're not really filling it in the capacity that they could fill it. Either they're not filling the shelves all the way back because shelves are deep. There's a lot of things. They're not going high because they're short and they have to get a ladder, but you need to be taking advantage of all things and all height. Maybe you have a pantry and the shelves don't go that high, so think vertically in the pantry. How much further higher can you go, as far as maybe you can put some more shelving in to take it up further to continue to use that space, okay? Next thing I have is under the sink. So a lot of times, and this goes for a lot of cabinetry, but specifically under the sink, you know, it's pretty tall most of the time, right? It's a big chunky space that's really okay. Yeah, you have some cleaners, you might have some stuff down there, but typically the space is not organized in a way and conducive enough to use the entire space of under the sink. So you're just going to want to get some racks or something so that you have 2 levels of space for keeping stuff, okay? And then you can then have more space, obviously, if you put shelving in there, to put more stuff in there, okay? You guys, let's talk about closets. So closets are great because, okay, for the obvious reason it's a closet. You know, so you literally could stack bins in the closet. You have the shelf typically that's in a closet, but with with closets, you walk in, sometimes on the sides of the closet there's dead space that's not really used for anything, right? Use that space to either stack up bins, stack up boxes, crates. You could get those tall organizers that have the different drawers, put that there. So figure out how to use those side dead spaces. Additionally, like everything else, think up in your closet. Up, there's tons of space that's not used in usually inside of closets that are up. So up, you can put a nice shelf up there, and you can put light stuff too. You don't have to put canned food, but you can put extra things of toilet paper, extra paper plates, things like that up there. Okay, so think vertically and think more shelving that you can put up there. Okay. Okay, I said under bed. Now, a lot of people, there's types of beds that open up that you can do all types of storage, but let's just say the average person doesn't have a fancy bed that they can hide stuff under them, and there's a compartment there to hide. But there is a lot of beds you can get that have compartments and stuff built into them. So if you're looking to get more a new bed or something, look for stuff that pieces of furniture that have drawers and different storage built into them, okay? But let's just say you have regular beds. There's all types of, if you go to the Container Store or any kind of organization store, there's big like boxes, very low boxes, but that are big, that you can usually, for organization, they go in drawers or whatever. You can put socks, underwear in them, you can put shoes in them, but they have those, and so you can get those and put preps in and canned goods, whatever, and then slide those under the bed. And they come pretty short in case you have a bed that doesn't really have a lot of space. Obviously, the more space you have, then the bigger size organizer you can get to slide under it. So just take the measurement, go get you some organizer boxes, and put food and stuff in them and slide it under your bed. Okay. And when I say slide it under your bed, I'm saying you're taking advantage of all. When I talk about closets, you're taking advantage of all the closets in the house. There's preps in my kid's closet. Okay. Yes, he has room for his toys and his clothes, but all the extra space that I'm talking about is taken. Okay. With preps. Same thing with beds. I'm talking about kids' beds. I'm talking about the extra bedroom beds, whatever. Take advantage of all the space. Okay. Think outside the box and stop trying to make everything so nice and cute, okay? Next thing I have is Armoire. So getting nice Armoire shelving, right? Some sort of shelving, as long as it is sturdy, but something that has doors so that the whole world, if they walk in that room, they just see an Armoire. They don't really see some sort of shelving full of preps, right? And those you can find in different spaces. Put them in all the kids' rooms. Put them anywhere that you can fit those, the garage, the shed, out on the back porch, in different bedrooms, in the living room. Basically, look in your apartment, figure out where you have an open space for some sort of smaller Armoire, because they come in all different sizes, something with doors, and get that and put stuff in it. Okay, next thing I have is laundry room. Don't sleep on the laundry room. A lot of people don't take advantage of the laundry room, right? Even a laundry room where it's not really a room, but you, in an apartment, you just open the doors and there's a washer dryer there. But oftentimes there's room between the washer and the shelving, so there's room for some sort of shelving. Sometimes there's side gaps that nothing is there that you could put shelving, and then also the actual shelves. Sometimes there's cabinets, but people, because again they're short, they're not even utilizing the top of the cabinets, maybe the top shelves. Additionally, sometimes cabinetry in the kitchen or there has that extra space be above the cabinet, so even more stuff could be put up there. Okay, so take a look at that space by itself and think about what you could do with your laundry room. Okay, so this one is kind of a, you know, your full capacity and you're just looking for any nook and cranny. Big TV stands, big pieces of furniture, you can literally pull them out. I'm talking pull them out, I don't know, at least 3 inches away from the wall, and then you have that gap. Find something nice, decorative, that you could put on the sides of that gap so that it's not, and if you have furniture on either side, that's best, because then it kind of hides that you're entertainment center or whatever piece of furniture is pulled out. But then there's that space between the entertainment center and the wall where you literally can stack food back there. And so it's just another place if you're really, really, really hurting for space, that you could put food. Okay. Stacking flats and corners. So I love to get flats of food, like flats of vegetables, things like that. I just find a corner or even a wall. I like corners though because of tipping hazards. And I just stack those bad boys up. Maybe it's a corner in the closet and you just have the stacks of canned whatever and you just stack them to the hilt. Okay. So having anything that you buy in a bulk form like that you're able to stack naturally is good in my eyes. Next thing I have is TV stand shelves. So again, you have to start thinking unconventional, right? A lot of people are like, no, I'm not putting food in other rooms, right? They're not even thinking about putting food in other rooms because just typically that's not what you do. So you have to get the mindset that every drawer, every cabinet in every single room should be used and being utilized for extra food, okay? Any kind of TV stand in my house, I tell you what, TV stand, entertainment centers are usually very, very deep, have deep drawers, have deep shelving that goes way back. I stack stuff all the way in the back, and you can still have either some movies, the DVD player, a nice knickknack, all in the front, and nobody can even see that there is actually cans of food or whatever in the back there, okay? Because they're so deep, okay? So think about every shelving that you have, entertainment center, drawer, okay? Sometimes people have pieces of furniture in different rooms and they have drawers and there's nothing in those drawers, okay? Or there's a lot of just nothing in there, okay? And so there's space is what I'm saying. Okay, storage units. So again, where could you put preps? I know some people actually have storage units and will put their preps in some of their preps in storage units. So think outside the box, think about storage units. And I get that not everybody can afford an extra storage unit, it's expensive. But storage units, think about, any family that's close, okay, grandma's house, anybody's house that you could stash some preps as well in their garage. They have space, whatever, okay? Think outside the box. Next thing I have is I put tubs in the garage. So obviously if you have any kind of garage, if you have an apartment and you don't have a garage, I understand that. But if you do have some sort of even a one car pull-in, typically those corners, there's still corners there that you could at least stack flats of vegetables or something, or tubs in a corner, okay, and just stack those tubs up. Another place to hide them is if you have space for a shed, any kind of decking, anything like that. This is another one for my apartment people. So they have outdoor like plastic chests that you can buy that go outside. You can put them on your balcony, your patio, your backyard, in the garage. Ideally you buy this big chest. They're big, usually plastic, right? But you can buy them and you can lock them up. You can be buying something like that for your patios, for your balconies. They have benches where for seating that you can put on your balcony. And then all underneath of the bench is a space that you can put preps. So be thinking about stuff like that. Think again, it goes back to buying pieces of furniture that have extra storage. Same thing outside, getting those either a sitting area that has is a bench that you can hide stuff in, or those storage containers that you buy for outdoors. It's like a big plastic chest that you can buy. People buy them, put the just basic tools in them or basic gardening stuff in them, maybe keep their soil in, things like that, okay? And then another thing is think about tables and desks that go up against walls. So for us, for example, I have a huge kitchen table, but it doesn't really fit in the apartment. It's huge. It has a leaf. It has all this stuff. It's too big. So we have it up against a wall because of spacing. Now, obviously this won't work if your table is in the middle of, let's say, your dining room, but if it is pushed up against a wall, Now, ideally, I have all of that space against the wall where I don't have chairs and I don't have people sitting, that I have all types of preps. And you can do that with bins, with boxes, with organizers, all types of stuff. But that's a huge space underneath the table for you to keep preps. Same thing with the desk. Think about it. A lot of desks you sit at, but they're deep. If it's a little desk, obviously this won't work, but a lot of desks you sit at, if it's deep at all, your feet do not go to the other side of the thing. So if that desk is up against a wall, you can still sit there and work at the desk, but that whole wall that the desk is up against, underneath it, you can now put some organizers down there and fill them with food. Okay, so again, this is not going to be everybody. You have to look at your situation and look at what you have, what type of furniture you have, and see where you can do things. Okay, now let's flip sides and let's talk about hiding preps. Now, with all of this stuff, you want to keep in mind of how do you do this with keeping it not looking like you have preps. So you do that with your organization, with bins, with different, having things that you're actually putting the food and stuff in and preps in, so that people, if they come over, they walk into your kids' room, they walk into another room, the bathroom, whatever, they can't readily see all this stuff. Okay, if it's a normal room like a laundry room and they walk in and you've got extra toilet paper up on an extra shelf or something, that's not that big of a deal, because that is a normal room that you might have overflow stuff like that. Okay, but I'm talking about the other stuff. Let's talk about hiding now. Some ideas for hiding, and some of these I use, some of these I don't. But so let's say bookshelves. Bookshelves tend to be very, very deep, okay? And so oftentimes, even if you put the books in there, there's still a lot of space after the book before the end of the shelving, okay? So what you can do is you can take the books off the shelf, put food, whatever, then you can put up false backing and then put the books. Or you don't even need the false, depending on what size books, you know, how much of the height are they covering. You can just put the food and stuff in the back and then put the books in front of the food or in front of the stuff. Now, obviously, if you have somebody coming around being nosy all the time, pulling your books, you know, they pull books and they see that there's food back there. But ideally, it's just a quick way to take advantage of those deep shelves, because bookshelves are typically deeper like that. Okay, again, any shelving, any cabinetry, any drawer cabinet that you open, anything like that, if it's deep, you easily can put stuff in there and put up a false wall and still have plenty of space where people are like, oh, okay, it's a normal cabinet, it has stuff in it, and they don't even realize that it actually goes way deeper and you actually have stuff prepped in there. Okay, so that can be for any cabinet in your home. So take a look one by one in each room, look at each cabinet, open stuff up, and see what you'd be able to do in that regard. Okay, next thing I did put storage units. So of course, stuff that's not on your property, not where you live, storing at other places will work. Balances. So I got this one off of the hotel. So the hotel that we're at, you guys, has you know, a huge window, huge curtains, and it has one of those valance, very fancy valance, wood valance things that covers the top of the curtains, right? Well, that is out quite a ways from the wall, okay? So ideally you could hang curtains, and then the space above the curtains, you could have a strip of shelving, and then where you had extra stuff, and cans of food, whatever, and then you build that valance thing in front of it. And then people think you're just looking at a normal, you know, curtain and a nice fancy valance, and they're not realizing that there's actually food and stuff back there. Another one is planters. So anytime you're planting anything, right, in your backyard, on your patio, even this would work, is if you have big containers, you know, you could put 6 cans of food in a water sealed bag, right? Put it in the bottom of the container and then put some dirt in there and plant some flowers, okay? If you have a yard, you could do this with much bigger stuff. Let's say you have the big cement cylinders, those big brick, nice pavers, and you make a nice big round circular pot with that, some sort of big area that you're, you know, gonna do some flowers. So do that, but before you start filling it in with all your fillers and your dirts and your rocks and whatever, again, you can be burying caches of stuff, okay, and then plant that stuff over it, okay. This is stuff if you're really just planting like long-term food storage, hiding long-term food storage, okay. So caches, the thing with caches too is a cache is where people take preps and food and different things, water seal it tight, put it in something, and then they bury it in different places, okay, and it's an emergency cache. You can do that, but be thinking if it's on your property, if it's like right there immediately in your home, or in your backyard, something like that. Be thinking no metal. Try to think of how do you hide preps that don't have metal. That's the same thing for your walls. You know, how do you hide stuff that doesn't have metal so it can't be found easily with metal detectors, okay? I already talked about false backings and any kind of shelving, any kind of cabinetry. Take a look at that, see what you got. Same thing with false flooring. If you're doing any kind of construction, you're upgrading, you're fixing floors, you're fixing walls, you're putting up walls, any of that stuff is a good time to put up false walls, different areas that you can hide food, okay? And then last thing I have is under the house, under any kind of decking, so you can hide stuff under the house. Obviously, if somebody just looked in the house, they could see it. But if you've got it in plastic bins, it's all lit up, they all tied up, and they don't really know what it is, possibly. Some homes have decking though, have some sort of space under the house, and then they can put lattice, whatever. So if there's somewhere like that that you're able to put some stuff, then that's an idea too. Obviously, you guys, everybody is different. Everybody's situation is different. I've had people hit me and say, there's no possible way. I have no way to even plant a plant. I have zero counter space in my house, in my kitchen. It's a studio. You know, I have no place. And I get challenged, like, send me pictures, because I feel like if that's the case, then think, how do you get organized where a wall maybe is all armoires, all shelving that you can do, or think vertical and go up. You know, people are like, oh, I don't have a patio, I don't have anywhere to do plants and stuff. I would be building vertically then. All my walls would be full of plants then, and plants that are just growing up my walls, basically. Just think about your situation and think about what you can do. And for those of you that think you do not have any more space, you probably have more space, but you have to stop thinking traditional, right? And what's the rules? And people don't normally put food in different rooms, right? So think outside the box and literally take a pen and paper and walk into a space and review the stuff that we just talked about and think about what you could do. Okay, I would love to hear in the comments below, you know, hey, what are your guys' ideas for hiding preps? If you live in an apartment and you're a prepper, let the rest of the group know what you like to prep, what are your favorite places for finding space in your home, in your apartment, and let's continue to help each other, okay? And I hope that this video answers and helps those that have been asking me this specific question on how to do this, okay? And you guys take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.